Just before we start this video, I don't intend this video to be a FreeBSD bashing video, far from the case. I actually love to use FreeBSD. I use FreeBSD as my daily driver on all my machines. It's just, it kind of reflects a little bit of frustration I had with FreeBSD 14.1 on ARM, in this case the Raspberry Pi 400, that the previous version, 14.0, didn't have. Well, didn't have as much. So yeah, let's get on with it. Before we boot into FreeBSD 14.1, here is a newly written install booting into FreeBSD 14.0, just to show a quick comparison. The Raspberry Pi 400 has been powered off for 30 seconds and does not have a battery clock. Right, so here we are, we're booting into, starting the boot process of 14.0, and let's let it do its thing. And right away I do notice that there's a clock error coming up a few times. The clock has no frequency. That's interesting, probably because it hasn't got a inbuilt clock. Doesn't seem to affect anything yet. 14.0 has worked quite well for me on the Raspberry Pi. So I'm just waiting for this to finish the boot process. Yeah, if you've seen some interference on the screen, like that flashing line, that's my recording device is on the blink, I think. Right, so it's found the Ethernet, brought the internet up. Are we getting there yet? It's not the fastest process in the world. Booting off a little SanDisk USB. There, I think we're done. So, I'll log in, and the default password is root. Login is root and the password is root. It's advisable that you change this later as soon as you can. Right, so we're in, and just going to test the internet. So 8.8.8.8. Yeah, and the internet's fine. It's not the fastest in the world, but it'll do. And then we're going to try the PKG bootstrap. So I'm going to put PKG update. This package manager tool is not yet installed. You install it, yes, and you should install it and bring in the latest package tree. Hopefully. We're on the quarterly branch by default. And trusted verifying the signature of a trusted certificate, bringing in the and extracting the package, and bringing in the latest tree. Yeah, it's doing it, no problem. And 32,966. Packages are processed, and there we go. And just to check the date, it will be wrong, of course, because there's no battery clock. Yeah, Friday, November the 10th, 2023. So it's yeah, it's wrong, but it still worked. So now, if we contrast this with FreeBSD 14.1. Oh yeah, it's got the same error. So, whereas in 14.0 it didn't seem to interfere, in FreeBSD 14.1 I noticed we'll show you. It's easy if I just show you. So we'll go through the boot process as normal. The Ethernet is being detected and bringing the network up. And again, we root in with root password. and test the internet. Oops. 0.8, that's it. And again, it works fine. And we'll check the date before we start this. It's a bit better. It's put me down as Friday, the 31st of May, 2024. So, we're about a week or two out. So it's nearer the time than the other way. So we'll start the PKG update. And the error I get is certificate verification has failed. It won't do it. And you didn't have this in 14.0. And it took me a while to look out, and someone on Twitter or X gave me the solution, and there was to say, set the system time. So if you put date, 24/06, so it's 11th of June 2024, and the time is 2:42. Now if you try the update now, and press yes. Hopefully it works. Yep, it's working now. That is so strange. You didn't need it. It worked on the previous version, but it does not work now. So I don't know whether something is missing or someone hasn't enabled anything, but that's the situation you face with 14.1 on the Raspberry Pi, unless you've got a battery-powered clock. And same number of packages. I tested 14.0 just after I initially did the first run of this. So, uname is FreeBSD 14.1 release. And here we are, system resources on just a bare bones FreeBSD, as you would expect. It's not really using anything. And we're going to install HTOP for those who like the presentation of this top alternative. And there we go. Very nice. So I'm just going to add a user, so we're not using root all the time. So I'll fast forward this process, as you probably know what it entails. And we also change the default password for root. We exit, and we log in as RoboNuggie. That feels a bit better now rather than using root all the time. So we change into root again. And we're going to install desktop environment and Xorg. And the desktop environment is going to be XFCE, I think. And yeah, it's going to be a lengthy process, so I will fast forward this. Right, okay, I think we finished. And in order to into the desktop, we're going to change. First we exit, but we're going to edit xinit rc, and we've got exec start XFCE 4 at the end. Always gets me, does that? I always forget to do that. And start X should bring up the desktop. There we go. The resolution is out, of course. And that's another little tweak we need to do for the Raspberry Pi. But yeah, so we've got a working desktop now. And it's bare bones, of course. There's nothing other than the standard XFCE things. It's not too bad. The XFCE is a nice little window manager. Well, it's like an in-between a window manager and a desktop environment. It's kind of like a little bit of both. And there's the about. An XFCE 4.18. And yeah. So, the HTOP, once we've got a little bit more memory, of course, because we're running a GUI. And here we are going to make some changes to the Raspberry Pi so we can get a better resolution. You can either put 0 in the end or just comment out HDMI_safe. We'll make some changes later there, maybe. But for now, we're just gonna... No, we're gonna reboot, I think. Let things look a bit better. And here we are back in the desktop. And things are looking a bit smaller, which is good. Although FreeBSD 14.0 installed no problem, and this goes back a little bit further, one of the main issues I always had was Firefox wasn't working properly. Firefox itself, and also Firefox ESR. ESR behaved a little bit better, but it wasn't perfect, and so I had to use other browsers like Midori, which is not an ideal fit for me. So searching for Firefox, we get the latest 127.0.2. So we pkg install Firefox. And there's quite a few things to download, so again, I'll fast forward. All done. And one of the things we need to do, which I haven't done yet, but we'll do it on a one-start basis, is have dbus start, because Firefox doesn't like it unless dbus is running. So service dbus one start, and we're going to try Firefox. No, I don't think it's going to do it. It should have started up by now. Okay, we're going to open up another thing and type it in manually. Look. xpcomg load error. So it's a libgk codex issue. Undefined symbol sin. Cannot load xpcom. I've never had that one before. It's interesting. Okay, fine. We'll try Firefox ESR. So we're just going to delete Firefox. I know there's probably an issue somewhere that can be solved. I really can't be bothered looking at the moment. So delete Firefox. And install Firefox ESR. Based upon a slightly older version, but it still gets the security updates. And it's based on Firefox 1.1.5. Okay. Right, so we'll try that again. Okay, it stopped, not happened. And Firefox isn't running. Okay, we'll try Firefox again. Okay, that's fine. It seems to have started up, no problem. So this is Firefox ESR based on Firefox 1.1.5. I can adjust the picture a bit there. Okay, there's the usual statement. They're going to turn off some of them automatic tests that they do. Where I can find there. Data collection use, turn them off. No. So, we're going to put in YouTube and see if that works. Okay, YouTube history is off. It's because we're not logged in. It's doesn't know your settings. Okay, we'll try that one again. We'll put in RoboNuggie. No, I think it's frozen. Well, that's good. So what we'll do is I will close it down and restart. And once we restart, sorry, we're having trouble getting, you think, okay, that's fine. Well, at least it restarted. At least it's working. YouTube again. Are we going to get it? It's not liking it. So again, restart again, and we'll try YouTube again. It's like third time. Shall I give it up as a lost cause? And it's crashed. Well, yeah, I've had enough of that. I'm not repeating what I've done in previous FreeBSD reviews on the Raspberry Pi. I'm going to leave it at that because the video's been going long enough and we really haven't achieved much. Right, as you can see, FreeBSD 14.0 current when I made it a couple of years back, before 14.0 was released, it worked well. I had several things running, and my review at the time was mostly positive. Wi-Fi wasn't working then, of course. I give it 4. Yeah, I'm going to give it 2 now, and that's quite a downgrade. The plus points are it can make a lightweight server. Of course it can. You know, you put something on there, it'll work flawlessly. That's what FreeBSD does. A lot of people think that's what it does best. In this case, it probably would on the Raspberry Pi. It runs reasonably fast and well off an SD card and USB stick. It does. Any limitations down to the non-standard tweak default out of the box that FreeBSD has for the Raspberry Pi. It runs at a slower rate than it should. So the negatives are the time and date error prevents the PKG bootstrap. If I hadn't looked it up, or no, because I asked on Twitter, and if someone had offered that alternate, I would never have got it going. And that would have been it. So you can imagine if someone tries this and they don't get that answer, or they don't find a solution, they'll just stop using it there and then. Firefox is still not working. It's not worked for a long time now. Alright, going back FreeBSD 13 or even 12. In some of the early attempts to get it on the Raspberry Pi 3, etc. It really didn't work then. It's not working on the Raspberry Pi 4. The Raspberry Pi 5, well, I don't think FreeBSD really works on that at all. There's no, as far as I know, there's no sound, no networking, and there's a few other problems on the Raspberry Pi 5. So, you know, it's probably Raspberry Pi 7 will be out before that gets fixed. The Raspberry Pi 4 and 400, it runs slow, as I mentioned earlier. You need a tweak. You need to, I think PowerD now is enabled by default, but you still need to put in some syscontrol settings for the Pi to run quicker. Oh, and to enable turbo, force turbo, etc. So you need to do all these things before it will run optimally. And it's still no HDMI audio. There was a patch from Fred Finster. He works on a GhostBSD branch for the Raspberry Pi. I don't know its current status, but he does a lot of work on it. A very clever chap. He actually put out a patch that got sound working. I haven't tried it. Well, I mean, I did try it, but it never worked for me. But as standard, there's no HDMI audio, which for the Raspberry Pi 4 is not a problem really, because there was an audio jack. For the Raspberry Pi 400, there's no audio jack, so you're going to have to use one of your audio USB sockets for a little audio dongle, or get a USB little rack of USBs, which I do, and then put a sound dongle in that to get your audio that way. It's not perfect. HDMI audio would be better. And there's no Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi with a Broadcom chipset that the Raspberry Pi 4, Raspberry Pi 3 use, there's no support yet. And that's the killer. I mean, the Raspberry Pi, if you wanted to put FreeBSD on it, using a remote server, or you don't, because you got limited USB ports, maybe it's already taken up. You haven't got any more space, so really Wi-Fi built in will be the best way. Maybe you can't put a dongle in for whatever reason. So having Wi-Fi not working, for a lot of people that's told me, is a killer. It didn't work on Raspberry Pi 3. It doesn't work on the Raspberry Pi 4. It doesn't work on the Raspberry Pi 400, which is basically the same. Definitely doesn't work, and a few other things on the Raspberry Pi 5. It's not going to get fixed. It's not going to... it's frustrating. I thought with FreeBSD 14.1 we'd have something. But anyway, so really I can only give this 2 stars, and it pains me to do so. It's almost like taking a step back. It's a tier 1 supported OS now, but in some respects it's less complete. I know it sounds daft, but I don't know. Hopefully some updates, or 14.2 will fix some issues. I don't know. I couldn't get FreeBSD 13.3 to boot off the Raspberry Pi. So really, a casual user, perhaps who wants to use a Raspberry Pi as an alternative desktop, and it's survivable. It's doable. I mean, I use my Raspberry Pi 400 when I can. I would love to use it more, but without a working FreeBSD install, it's not going to do it. And the lack of a Firefox browser is very frustrating. But anyway, I mean, I use Ethernet on it, but so the lack of Wi-Fi isn't a problem, but it's the Firefox for me. So yeah, this is my quick review of sorts. Overall, disappointing, I think. Hopefully 14.2 will be better. And it really should be. I mean, because Microsoft is making roads into ARM. Linux is doing quite well in ARM. I think the future could well be ARM-based products. I think FreeBSD, if it doesn't want to miss the boat, I think it should make more effort. It's easy for me to say, but do you know what I mean? It's like there should be more progress. At least get Wi-Fi going. It's just... never mind. Anyway, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer on this. I usually don't like to do negative reviews, but on this, it has to be done. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. Probably going to get thumbs downs from some quarters of the FreeBSD community for this. If you like this video and a few more videos, then please consider subscribing. And if you do subscribe, then hit that notification bell, because it'll let you know when I release a new video. And it will do this channel wonders. Thank you. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.